People need to understand that Linux has always been and will always be a shitty OS. And I know it's technically called a kernel, but I don't give a fuck. It's awful. You're reading this right now. The duckstation PS1 emulator developer announced the end of Linux support and effectively blocking the Arch Linux builds. The reason why he's doing this is because he can't stand the insufferable nature of not just the people who develop Linux, but the people who use Linux. And he didn't want to put his personal information out onto the Linux system because he had to do all sorts of hoops as it was just to get the duckstation to even work on Linux. And it's only 2%. It's less than 1%. Most people who even use Linux are dual booting. They're not doing just Linux. They're usually using Linux for very specific stuff, and they pretend they are a Linux user. Practically, there's no practical solutions for Linux. Unless you are a coder, you're not going to use it for anything else. And even you could be a coder on just Windows. Linux is balkanized, where there's so many distros, i.e. different versions of Linux, to where there's no effective way to find which one is better, which one's this, which one's that, which one's going to be discontinued. You don't know which one will be good and which one's not. It's just shit. And people who tell you, these Linux fanboys tell you to switch to Linux, you will learn the hard way. Anyone who uses Linux realizes this is shit. Nobody's not going to use this. And when you see the developer, because he gave Linux users a chance. He gave them a chance. He tried to deal with them. He tried to make sure that everyone was getting the software to play emulators as effectively as possible, even for Linux users, which is a tiny proportion of the population of PC users. He still couldn't stand it. And effectively, he stops doing it. He just stopped. I guarantee there'll be more people who do emulators who's going to do the exact same thing and just get fed up with Linux and the Linux community and to say fuck them. They are useless. Nobody likes them. They're annoying. They're not good programmers, majority of them. The most of them are just fucking egotistical fucking weirdos who are unlikable. Nobody likes a Linux user. No one. And even if you use Linux and you try to use it for the first time, are you going to get help from the community? No, they say RT, read the fucking manual. And that stands for read the fucking manual. RTFD. Well, RTFM. Yeah, there we go. It's so annoying that even I forget about it. They're just annoying. Nobody likes them. When you try to talk to them about stuff, that's all they have on their mind is Linux. Linux. It's no normal conversation, nothing about helping each other out. Politically, and you say, why would we talk about politics? Well, it's an extremist paradise. What do I mean by extremist paradise? Is that it's like they have far left loonies, communists, and you have far right people, the funny mustache people. It's like there's no middle ground. There's nobody who's just a normal dude who uses Linux. It's just weirdos. And more software devs are just going to get fed up. Like duckstation, they're not the only one who gave up on Linux. And there'll be more and more of them. To where I guarantee there will be a day when everyone will stop using Linux. Where Linux will be a thing of the past and nobody won't talk about it. This happens every few years where people don't talk about Linux, and all of a sudden there's like a new generation of people who just try Linux, and it's being shilled on every platform you can think of. And I guarantee a lot of it's been bought with bought views. And people don't want to talk about it. People don't talk about how these people are insufferable. And you get people like me and others who just point out the obvious with Linux and why it would never become a popular operating system, or you want to say kernel. It would never be that, ever. So the people who try to shill Linux, you are fooling yourself. It's shit. Nobody cares.